Let's talk about the movie Obsession. The villain was crazy, and man, it was way more deep than I expected. On the surface, it feels like a supernatural horror film. A guy makes a wish, this woman becomes obsessed with him, things get weird, even dangerous, people get hurt, and honestly, there were moments in the film that reminded me of the movie Get Out. Even a couple of moments that reminded me of A Thin Line Between Love and Hate with Martin Lawrence. And the trailer of this film will have you thinking one way, but like I said, it's so much deeper. Now, I gotta talk more about this villain, but before I do, I wanna give y'all a chance. If you haven't seen the movie, this is your spoiler warning. So now that that's out the way, Nikki, the crazy woman, so to speak, she's not the villain. Bear, the man, he's the villain. He's the one who made the wish. And what makes it so brilliant is Bear doesn't look like a villain or a monster. He's not loud or aggressive or screaming at women all the time. He's not abusive. He seems to be a good friend. He's awkward and bashful, passive. He's kind of lonely and insecure. He's the kind of dude that people would look at and be like, yeah, he's not a threat. And that's partly why this movie works. You don't see it coming. And in the beginning, we see that Nikki, she gives Bear a chance. She literally tells him, yo, if there's something you want to tell me, now's the time. Do you like me? That was his moment. That was the test. And Bear failed it because love requires vulnerability. Like, hey, I like you. I hope you feel the same. But if not, I respect your decision. I respect your ability to consent. But Bear, nah, he didn't choose vulnerability. What he chose was control. And instead of being honest, he took a shortcut because he didn't want to risk rejection. So he made a wish. And whether he believed that wish will work or not is irrelevant. The real issue is what was revealed underneath it all. Because Bear doesn't wish for Nikki's happiness or his own. He don't wish for courage or a second chance. He basically wishes for possession and control, self-abandonment, all that stuff. So she could only focus and love him. And that right there, that alone removes consent. And once the wish starts working, he doesn't stop benefiting from it. Some of the most uncomfortable scenes in this film aren't even the violent ones. It's the intimate scenes. Because by that point, Bear, he knows something's wrong. He knows she's not herself, yet he keeps being a partaker and benefiting from her lack of consent. And that's what makes those scenes so disturbing, because it stops feeling like a relationship and it feels more like possession. Her body is there, but Nikki is gone. She's in a sunken place, and Bear knows it. That's why I don't see him as a victim anymore, because he knows the wish is working. So he's not innocent, not when they're kissing or when they're intimate, when she was staring at him all day, when she was clearly losing herself, because at every stage, Bear had a choice, and he kept choosing himself. And then the movie got even darker. There's a scene where Bear is questioning Nikki about lying about her father, and he's frustrated and confused, and he's holding her accountable and scolding her in public in a restaurant. And I'm sitting there like, yo, you're the reason she's acting this way. You made the wish. You know something is off. She's not herself. She has no autonomy or consent, and yet somehow he's acting like she's the problem. And that right there is one of the realest joints in this entire film, because toxic people, they do that all the time. Create the conditions, then criticize people when they react, create chaos, and then blame the person living inside that chaos. And Bear is basically doing exactly the same thing. That's why this film